Your salary does not look dangerous. It looks responsible. It looks mature. It looks like progress. And that is precisely why it becomes powerful. Over the past 4 decades, worker productivity has steadily increased across developed economies, while executive compensation in major corporations has reached levels above $20 million per year in many public companies. Meanwhile, the average employee earns a fraction of that and often feels one unexpected expense away from stress. On paper, incomes have grown. In reality, financial fragility remains common. The problem is not effort. It is structure. A salary feels like security because it arrives on schedule. Every 2 weeks or once a month, money appears. That rhythm creates psychological relief. The uncertainty of survival is reduced. Bills can be planned. Life can be organized. For a while, this predictability feels empowering. But something subtle begins to happen the moment your lifestyle adjusts to that paycheck. Your apartment improves. Your car payment increases. Your subscriptions multiply. Your daily spending normalizes around a new standard. None of these decisions feel extreme. Each one seems reasonable. Yet together they raise your fixed monthly obligations. Gradually, your salary stops being optional and becomes required. This is where freedom quietly changes direction. When income is required to maintain your current life, your leverage decreases. Negotiation becomes riskier. Career changes feel dangerous. Entrepreneurship feels irresponsible. The more stable your salary becomes, the less flexible your choices feel. Stability and control are not the same thing, but they often get confused. Human psychology explains why this shift happens so smoothly. Our brains evolved to prefer predictable rewards. Certainty lowers stress. When income is guaranteed, urgency fades. The mind shifts from expansion to preservation. Instead of asking how to build independent assets, it focuses on protecting the current structure. Comfort slowly replaces ambition. Companies benefit from this design. A salary is not only compensation, it is behavioral alignment. When healthcare, housing, and lifestyle depend on a single employer, emotional dependence increases. Most organizations do not need to threaten employees directly. The structure itself encourages compliance. Risk-taking declines naturally when the cost of instability is high. This effect intensifies as income rises. It is a mistake to believe that only low earners experience financial traps. In many cases, higher salaries create stronger forms of dependence. A person earning $250,000 per year often builds a lifestyle that requires nearly all of it. A large home, private schooling, luxury vehicles, social expectations, each decision raises fixed expenses. Losing that income would not mean discomfort, it would mean collapse of status and stability. This is why the term golden handcuffs exists. High compensation can create low mobility. Outward success hides inward constraint. At the core of this dynamic lies a simple distinction. Salary rewards time, ownership rewards leverage. When you are paid a salary, your compensation is tied to controlled effort within defined boundaries. There is a ceiling. There is predictability. There is protection. Ownership, by contrast, is volatile in the beginning. It offers uncertainty and risk. Yet once assets begin to compound, equity, investments, scalable skills, intellectual property, income can separate from time. That separation is the foundation of financial autonomy. If income stops the moment you stop working, dependency remains intact. Dependency shapes behavior more than most people realize. It influences speech, negotiation, and tolerance. It affects which ideas you express and which risks you avoid. Over time, identity fuses with employment. Instead of saying you work at a company, you begin to define yourself by your role within it. Leaving then becomes not only a financial shift but an existential one. None of this means that having a job is wrong. It means relying exclusively on salary as the long-term strategy limits optionality. The real distinction between financially trapped individuals and financially free individuals is not income level but structural design. Trapped earners optimize for raises. Free builders optimize for leverage. A raise increases linear income. Leverage creates non-linear outcomes. Equity in a growing company, digital products that scale without proportional labor, diversified investments that compound. These mechanisms function differently from salary increments. They detach effort from reward in gradual but powerful ways. One of the most common patterns among professionals is postponing asset building until they feel they earn enough. Yet the higher income rises, the easier it becomes to inflate lifestyle. Comfort expands. So do expenses. The window for disciplined asset creation narrows unless intentional action is taken early. Long-term vulnerability often hides beneath short-term stability. A 40-year career built solely on salary depends on multiple variables outside personal control. Corporate health, industry survival, economic cycles, health conditions, age-related biases, and technological disruption. When recessions or layoffs occur, those with single income sources experience shock first. Diversification, therefore, should apply not only to investment portfolios but to identity and revenue streams. The most resilient individuals treat salary as fuel, not foundation. Fuel powers movement. It is temporary. Foundation supports permanence. When income from employment funds asset creation instead of lifestyle expansion, the psychological dynamic changes. Fixed costs remain controlled. Savings transform into ownership stakes. Skills are developed with scalability in mind. Gradually, optionality increases. Optionality is the true marker of freedom. It is the ability to decline an offer without fear. It is the capacity to negotiate from strength. It is the space to endure temporary setbacks without collapse. When optionality grows, behavior shifts. Decision-making becomes strategic rather than reactive. Comfort is not the enemy. Unquestioned comfort is. A salary becomes limiting when it replaces long-term design. It becomes restrictive when it is the only income engine. It becomes dangerous when lifestyle inflation locks future decisions into present structures. The solution does not require dramatic exits or reckless risk. It requires clarity. Maintain employment if it serves you, but build parallel engines. Keep fixed costs below maximum capacity. Convert income into assets deliberately. Protect room for maneuver. If your salary disappeared in 6 months, would your life destabilize completely? This question reveals structural truth more than any motivational slogan. When the answer is yes, dependency dominates. When the answer is no, leverage is growing. Salary is not evil. It is a tool. But tools shape behavior when used without awareness. Freedom is not about earning more. It is about reducing the gap between income and permission. When income flows without constant approval from a single institution, psychological posture changes. Confidence increases. Risk becomes calculated rather than terrifying. Once this structure becomes visible, it cannot be unseen. The goal is not to reject salary but to prevent it from quietly defining the limits of your life. Subscribe to understand the business world through psychology.